All right. Hello, everyone. It's been a little bit of time since my last stream. I've been a busy little bee, so not a whole lot of hobbying, unfortunately. But yeah, we're here now, ready to do some painting. I'm gonna grab one of my models so I can have them handy, so I can show you guys what I've been working on whilst I've been MIA. So I'm gonna have these guys handy to show you. Alright. Let's get into it, shall we? So for painting anyway, today we're going to be painting this jackal. And maybe a couple more if we can get to it in time. But for now, we'll just kind of work on this guy, which we've had on the desk for a little while. I'm just going to work on some of the highlights at the moment. I feel like my brush is starting to get a bit old. I might need to invest in a new one soon. She's not working how she used to, you know? Some more edge highlights. Build it up a little bit more sharp on some of these more sharp edges, like so. Just a little bit. Something like that. Tidy up a little bit on the legs. Slim Richmond. Hey mate, how you going? Devin McKay, did I make this? No, I did not. This is a jackal. It's part of the World Eaters Legion from Warhammer 40k. Starting up a little bit here. So there's a few more that we've got on the painting desk. So here's one we completed on a previous stream. Another sort of jackal. And we got more lined up, kind of partially painted. They're all sort of works in progress. And a couple more over here, which need more paint on them. But we'll get to it. So ultimately, this is what we want to end up with. Something like that. For the dudes. Part of a commission piece that we're working on. But thank you, appreciate it. And Slim Richmond, get into that pile of shame of yours, mate. Give it a lick of paint. No excuses. Okay. I did a lot of this paint job off camera, so I think we're getting very close to being done here with this guy. What we might do is tidy up the base a little bit. So, what are we going to use for the base? Let me just have a look at this one again. I can't remember what paint we used. It's like a dark grey colour by the looks of it. You've bought Exalted Sorcerers and they need you. It's the trap we all fall into, isn't it, mate? On to the next, hey? One shiny thing to the other. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit of grey, I think, as the colour on the base. And then we're going to use pigment powders to kind of build it up. So I think something just like this as an undertone will look all right. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly a color match, because I feel like, you know, real life Earth kind of changes colors. It's not all just one cohesive color. So a little bit of color variation here and there. Looks kind of cool, I reckon. As I said anyway, the pigment powders will kind of do most of the work here and completely change the look of this grey. Cyrus, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. I'm glad you like him. I'm pretty happy with him too. Okay. Let us let that dry. I might just highlight the metal a little bit as well. I think I haven't done that yet. And bring out the weapons, make them look a little bit more shiny. There's tanks on the back. Are they full of some crazy liquid? I think so, mate. I'm not 100% on the lore, but I'm pretty sure it's like a psychoactive drug, like helps them go into a fit of rage and fight stronger. That's why these like tubes are coming out and into their chest. They're like pumping them full of combat drugs. Very grimdark. Just tapping the surfaces just to get a little bit of random highlights. I think it does a decent job for highlighting. Don't need to be too neat. They're world eaters. They don't really look after themselves, do they? To be honest. Okay. Now, we can probably start on the skulls as well on the base. So I might use Baneblade Brown as a base coat. To pick those bad boys out. And it doesn't need to be too neat because they're going to get all dusted up with our pigment powders. Just enough to sort of make them look like what they are. obviously skulls. I think contrast is what we're going for here, not like smoothness or whatever. Like so. And then might try some of this Vampire Fang as like a highlight color. To bring up the value. Might mix it in a little bit with the brown that we were using because it'll be too stark of a contrast, I reckon, straight away. So, let's see what this looks like. Still kind of wet as well, like when I haven't let it fully dry, which is okay. It's kind of like a wet blending effect. It'll help with a bit of a gradient effect, which is fine. Just like this. There we go, you can sort of see that it's coming together. Bit of contrast building. We don't really need to use washes or anything, we can just go with the colors. So now I'm going to use a bit of Wraithbone as well, just acrylic paints is fine, no need to wash. And I'm probably going to see what pure Wraithbone looks like on the skulls, which I think will be a decent effect. Still, it's not fully dry. I'm just going to cover a smaller area than before, which helps build up that contrast and highlight. Like so. Pretty happy with how that's looking. Not bad for like a couple minutes. What we might do is try and just pick out some of these edges here where the light would really catch. Around these eye sockets and nose, like that. Not too bad. Happy with that. And then we can probably open up some of the pigment powders and put them on the base now that the gray's dry. So I'm going to find an old brush for this, if I can find one. Yes. Burnt Umber from Vallejo. Pigment powder is going to be the one. Thank you, Slim Richmond. I appreciate it, mate. Is what we're going to do is grab a bit of the powder out and just whack it on this base. Really cover a lot of the base. Most of that grey will start to disappear, which is kind of what we want. It's just an undertone. And I don't mind getting it on his boots and up to his pants. It all helps sell the effect that he's like in the world. Charging through it and kicking up dust while doing it. If you've never used pigment powders, mate, they're an absolute game changer. I love them for quick, easy, good looking base effects. I think they are awesome. A little bit more brown, mush it in there. You don't want to go too hard and scrape up the paint from underneath, but just dabbing the brush around like that. They're a bit messy, but it's the trade-off. So good, 100%. All right, and then to add a bit more variation to the ground, because it's looking a bit flat just with the brown, right? So what I like to do is get these two, light sienna and yellow ochre, and kind of mix them on top of the brown that we just did. So what I mean by that is we have these two just here, and I will grab out a little bit of one of the colors, so light sienna for now, like this, and just kind of gently sprinkle that around. We're not going to mush it in like we did with the brown just yet. Kind of adds a little bit of variation, as you can see. Marie, hello. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. And now we're going to get to the light yellow ochre and do the same. Probably the least with the light yellow ochre because it's quite bright. So we don't want too much of it. We just want a little bit here and there. So you can sort of see like that. Like that's quite a different effect. And now we'll clear off the rest on the brush. And now we kind of smush it in a little bit. But not too much. We kind of want some of those larger pigments to sort of stay as is. But you can see how much variation that's going to give into the base in just a couple of simple steps. You clean up the rim, blow away some of the dust, and you can sort of see just how quickly that base has come together. Very quick and easy effect for army painting especially. Now if you're going to game with the piece, what you need is to lock it in so the pigment powders don't fall away every time you're handling the model. And what I like to do with that is use odorless thinner. Broccoli Kevin, Paper Doll Man. What are you two stooges doing in here? As I was saying, so the odorless thinner, to lock it in, the pigments, you just add a couple of drops like this. It'll kind of flow into all the areas by itself, so you really don't need to overdo it. You can sort of see it just like the capillary action has pretty much got all of that, which is fine. So that's probably all we need to do. And now you just leave that to dry. Depending on how hot your room is will determine how quickly it dries. So we'll just put it to the side for now while it dries. And then when it does, you'll be left with a result like that. Like it goes back to how it looked when we applied it. But obviously it's fixed to the base now, so it's not going to really rub away as easily. So we'll pop him to the side for now. It is very satisfying, Slim Richmond. Very satisfying. Is that a goremonger, OMT? No, it is a jackal from the World Eaters. It looks like you, Paper Doll Man. This looks like you. The skull's on the base, mate. That's you. I think on my last stream as well, which was quite some time ago, I just want to show you guys here, I'm working on a Space Wolf that I am filming for one of my videos that I do. This is the armor that we have been working on, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. So look out for this video. Once I get to it, I will release it. I'm just kind of playing around with the fur at the moment. And then the trim as well. But I think the armor is all but done. I'm fairly happy with how that's turned out. But more work to be done. And then hopefully I'll paint one of these on stream fully. when I get a chance. For those of you that may not have seen my work before, just while I'm talking while the guy's base dries, just to do a quick little showcase of some of the models that I painted up. So this is a World Eaters Corn Berserker. Another one here. So you can see as well, I've done like the base effects using pigment powders and stuff with these as well. It's kind of my go-to. Yes, my love. Here, grab some stuff. Come on in. Yeah. Sorry guys, my girlfriend had to grab a few things from her desk. But yes, thank you. You like the helmet, Michael, I appreciate it. Imperial Fist, I do love a nice striking color, that's for sure. Bright yellow, definitely a fun paint to paint. Paint scheme, I should say. And it looks really cool when you use glow effects, blue and yellow. Good color combo, that is for sure. That guy's still drying, so let's just get back to painting maybe one of these while I wait for that to finish up. So, you grab my paintbrush, and what I need to do on this one is highlight up some of the black. Just getting rid of some of the dust that I can see here before we go in with a wash. So let's do that. Highlight the black. I'm going to use like a charcoal color and maybe add like a bit of a white or cream color to it just to build up some of the highlights on the black the black cloth that we've got going on. Do I stream on Twitch? Michael, no, I do not. I do TikTok and I do here on YouTube. My main platform is TikTok. I do a lot of short form content. And I've only kind of recently been doing this streaming here, but yeah, main following is on TikTok. But I enjoy doing this streaming as well. It's kind of fun. So that's what I've been doing of late. So we're just doing like rough, sketchy highlights. I think that's the way when we're doing like army painting, is to just get the highlight placements in the right place and then just work on contrast. Because you know, you're not going to be looking at the model too close up. But when it's from far away, having a nice bit of contrast goes a long way. Michael, what army do you think is easiest to paint? I would probably say overall easiest, Necrons would be 100% the easiest, because like you can just spray paint them black and dry brush them with silver and you're done. By far the easiest. Space Marines are fairly easy to paint, just like your generic Intercessor Marines. Lots of round curvature. Washes work really well on them. So does an airbrush. Makes them look really good very quickly. But yeah, absolute easiest, I'd say Necrons by far. Now, let's add some definition here because the metal is looking very flat. Like, look at that, there's absolutely no definition. So what we're going to add, or use, I should say, to give that definition is a rattling grime contrast paint, just mixed with a bit of water to dilute it. We're going to use that as a wash. Hollow's Feast. Did you make the figure holder? No, I didn't. This is a Games Workshop, a Citadel figure holder. It's quite old. I don't know if they still make this exact one, but purchased it from Warhammer itself. There's plenty of them out there these days, though. I would recommend you get one, because I used to, for the longest time, just paint using my hands holding the models. One, you drop them a lot more than you would realize, and two, your hands don't cramp up as much, hardly at all, when you're using the handle rather than just holding the base. God, I could listen to you reading me bedtime stories. I like that. Maybe I should do an ASMR bedtime story channel, hey? Maybe that'll be another niche that I do. Or Warhammer bedtime stories. Talking about Warhammer lore. Yeah. Please do. Hey, maybe one day your wishes might be granted. I do like listening to the Warhammer lore channels, particularly when I'm painting. Really like gets you in the mood, you know. You know, some of my favorite, I do like Weshammer, Major Kill. What else is there? Luton, Voldemort, I think his name. Yeah, there's some good ones out there. You're playing Deathwing on the PC, but it's difficult alone. I've never played Deathwing. Never played it. Any good? And it's starting to look decent. I might add just a tad more rattling grime to my palette. And then we can check on old mate sitting on the desk and see if his base is dried, because he is very, very close to being finished. There we go. Not too shabby. Walking around in a suit with heaving footsteps just makes me feel so mighty. Hell yeah. Hollows, hell yeah. Big chunk and suits of armor, hey? That's what I did like about Space Marine 2, is they did a very good job on feeling like you're an actual like Space Marine. Very enjoyable. A stinking 11. Where'd I get the base holder? Oh, mate. Should have been here 10 minutes earlier. You would have heard. This is from Games Workshop. It is an old one, as I was saying earlier, so I don't know if they still make it, but yeah, Games Workshop. Citadel. Single mini holder. Hey, you just bought it. Nice. You shall have fun, that is for sure. And what is my favorite chapter? I get that question a lot, and I can't answer because I do like a lot of them. And I've painted a lot. So, I mean, at the moment I'm doing Space Wolves, so I am liking the Space Wolf sort of new models that recently came out. I do like the look and feel of just like Ultramarines. I painted them up. I'm going to show you the ones that I'm talking about and painted up whilst talking about them. Raptors are a good one. I do like Raptors, the sort of sneaky Marines, reasonable Marines, you know, real military vibes. I do like that, that is for sure. And this is one I painted up quite some time ago. Black Templars, dope, absolutely dope, that's for sure. Do love me some Black Templars. So much so that I painted a white Black Templar. And no, it is not a white Templar, it is a white Black Templar, because I said so. And that's him here in all his glory. Yeah, heaps. I do love Blood Angels too. I don't really have a Blood Angels. I've got a Flesh Terror here. I'm going to pick it out. Bit dusty. But that was fun to paint. Flesh Terrors are dope. That's for sure. But yes, lots of different ones. So to answer your question, long-winded answer. Not a favorite one. I can't pick a favorite, unfortunately. This guy's still drying. Okay. Jutui. Is it Warhammer? I'm 100% this is Warhammer. And Cakeman base holder is still sold. I bought one last week. Yeah, nice, dude. Good investment. Very good investment. Jake, hello, my friend. How are you? How you been? You like the blood splash? Hollows a feast. I like it. Thank you very much. And what is my favorite Chaos Legion from Stinkin? I would probably have to say either World Eaters or Emperor's Children. So World Eaters, I just like painting red, as you can tell. So that's good fun. And Emperor's Children, the purple, gold, and the skin is fun to paint. So, yeah. I kind of base it on how much I enjoy painting them, is how much I like the chapter or not. You have aliens. Do you mean Xenos? If so, my friend, I don't. Unfortunately, I have an orc. I have one orc sitting here that I painted up a little while ago. But other than that, unfortunately not enough time to paint all the figurines, you know? Haley, hello, do you remember me? Haley, I feel like you were on one of these a long time ago. I haven't streamed in a while, so for me it feels like a long time ago. But remind me, what is your faction of choice? If I can pay you, can you make me one? Oh, of course, my friend, of course. More than happy to. This is what I'm actually doing. This is someone else's model that we're painting at the moment, actually, in all seriousness. I do a lot of commission painting, and that's kind of the enjoyment. I get to paint someone's model and I get to share it with you guys. Jake, that is good, mate. I am fantastic, thank you. Just been very busy with work, which has led to not enough hobby time, unfortunately. Which is very sad, because that's what we live for, right? Okay, enough yapping. Let me do a little bit more painting. Joseph, hello. And Finlay, hello, my friends. How are you both? So let's do some sharp edge highlighting, just in some select areas. Really make her sort of clothes pop a little bit. Nice. And on her head up here, this will catch a lot of light, so we want to have that fairly bright. And that is sad trombone for sure, when you get paint on areas you do not want. Whoopsie. Haley, Dark Angels, and I was talking to you about my brother. Yes, I remember now. I remember. And I think, was I painting Dark Angels at the same time? I was painting the commission, which I still have here. I think I was. There we go. Making her boots pop. Damn. Happy with that. There we go. Yeah, Jake, you've been busy with work. I know, how depressing, right? Why do we have to work? Just be like staying at home painting models all day. That'd be ideal. Alas, we cannot do that, unfortunately. Benjamin, hello, my friend, and Hollows, Blood Angels, and Solanesh. Too right. Blood Angels, I love my vampire boys, and I like my crazed little lunatics in purple. Hell yeah. No worries, Haley. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. Go tend to your son. Fussy is no fun. I'll see you next time. Alrighty, so I think I need to just break up some of the silver a little bit, and we're going to use Tinny Tin from Vallejo to do so. Pick out some of the elements that we have done on the other characters. Just makes it not look so boring, you know? A little bit of variety. So like maybe this little tooth thing down here. We're gonna do some of the trim on her like stim pack thing on her backpack. Her portable drug machine. I might do the axe up here too, I reckon. Oh, and salamanders. You, my friend, would fit very well with a lot of the other people that jump on this stream. I feel like salamanders is the #1 chapter that people say they like in my chats. It is the go-to. I don't know what it is. I don't know why you guys like salamanders so much. Please tell me why. I've never painted one. Never. Jake, I think you missed a few streams. Mate, I haven't been streaming for a couple of weeks. I've been bloody slack. I've been away for work. Too many excuses, you know. I feel like I haven't painted in a long time. So maybe you haven't. I just haven't been on in quite some time. My bad. You ever paint Custodes? Asked David. I have previously. I've painted a commission of Custodes. Probably like 2 years ago now. It was quite some time ago. And they were a different color. Like they weren't like your golden boys that you see. Like a white and red. Interesting color scheme. But they were cool. I would like to paint them again though in like the OG colors. I reckon that'd be fun. But I say that with lots of things. I'd love to paint it, but I just do not have the time for it. Gonna make time, Aaron. That is what I need to do. Have I ever painted Death Card? Asked Finlay. I have, and I only have one here from an experiment that I was doing. So I've painted different colors of Death Card, but this one here is, what's his name? Proteus? Plagueis? I don't actually know his name. But I painted up for like a little video on my TikTok. With using speed paints, really. Like I was experimenting the speed paints with the armor. I'm pretty happy. Like the green is all just speed painted. It was pretty good. End result. That's for sure. Jake, the salamanders are the goodish guys. They are, aren't they? You guys are all goody two-shoes, huh? Where are my heretics at? You know? Death and destruction across the 41st millennium. Or if you're good, you know, there's still a bad side to you, like the Blood Angels. A little bit of craziness, you know. Hollows, you're staying? Hell yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Evening, Sean. How you been, mate? Long time no see, and that is my doing. As I was saying before, I haven't been streaming in a long time. Too busy with work and life. But I hope you're doing well, mate. Potato, appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'm going to pick out some of the leather on old mate's skull. That's hanging by her waist. Nothing crazy, literally just Mornfang brown. Where the leather straps are. And we'll probably call it a day. I feel like if you don't do it, it just looks a little bit odd where the bumps are, and they're just skull colored. So I'd rather just pick them out, even crudely like this. Broccoli Gaming. Oh, neat model to paint. Working on an Arctic Marine myself. You got the Iron Father. I found out that Necron Warriors is a good kit to make servo skulls out of, so I'm having fun with that. Nice. A little bit of kit bashing. I envy people's kit bashing skills, that's for sure. I am not much of a kit basher. But I am very impressed by some of the work that people do out there. And the fact that you can, you know, even that, to use servo skulls out of Necron heads. I would not have thought of that. So there you go. Nice work. Mikulowski. Hydra Dominatus. Is that an Alpha Legion call there? We got another heretic here with Sesh. Franquis Marion. Very nice. Sentient Ape. It's got 1,000 points of Emperor's Children and World Eaters. And yes, the keyword is ish for salamanders. They're kind of good. No one's really good, are they, in Warhammer? They're all shades of grey. Okay, she's getting very close. I won't paint the eyes on stream because they are way too hard on these guys. Like, the models are even smaller than Space Marines, so I'm not going to do it on stream because I'll just embarrass myself. So we're going to do that off stream, so you can't judge. So instead I'll do the same as what I did before. I'm going to use dark grey for the base. And I will pop that on my palette. Take it from there. It was Mikulowski, wasn't it? It was Alpha Legion. Hell yeah. Let's Chaos Reign. You're a massive heretic, but love how nobody is good in Warhammer. Only bad and worse. That's what makes it fun, isn't it? Hollows. That is exactly why we like Warhammer. So much depth. Potato, I'm not sure if this is too personal or not, so sorry in advance, but how much do people usually pay you? That's fine, mate. No worries. I charge an hourly rate with my commission painting, so I don't do like per model. You know, some people do like $20 a model or something like that. I just do an hourly rate, and then I quote based on complexity and repeat clients and all that sort of stuff. Like, it all factors into my quote. But I normally charge around about $33 an hour for my painting. And I have different standards as well, like Tabletop Plus, which I call Premium Tabletop. I got Battle Hardened, and then I've got my, I think I call it the Fiend's Finest. It's like my display painting level. And I'll show you kind of where that's at in terms of a quality. And Some people want box art, some people want more, artistic. But generally, don't look at the base, but look at the model itself. It's kind of where I'd go with a display quality. Like, there's quite a lot of nuance in like the skin, and other areas like rust and corrosion, and sort of blending on the armor panels and stuff like that. Like, that takes a lot of time. But you know what I mean. It can be a time sink when you're just going back and forth with glazing and things like that. So you got to account for that when you're quoting people's time. So yes, something like that. Oh yes, Potato, you're a legend, mate. Don't forget to join the Discord. Thank you, you reminded me. I will drop that in here. If anyone wants to share their painting, ask questions, see other people's finished works, that's kind of what we're doing in the Discord. Very small little group of us. I think there's only like 30 of us in there at the moment, but hopefully growing, and hopefully get to see your work, and you can sort of share what you've been working on with me and anyone else in the Discord. That'd be awesome. I don't even know how to say that. Malatride Olivius? Who's that? Would that? I'm sorry for my two misspells, but what is that? It is a model. We're painting a jackal from the Warhammer 40k universe. It's from the World Eaters box set that we are painting. You can buy jackals in their own boxes as well, but I'm pretty sure this came in like a combat patrol or something like that. Hollows, I better not distract you painting my blood angels. You better not. And Paper Doll Man, mate. No orcs coming out for you. I'm sorry, mate. I know how much you love them. Just got to be patient, my friend. All right, let's put her to the side while her base dries, and let's check in on our other dude that we did earlier. So you can see the base is now fully dried, and that pigment powder is pretty much locked in there. Like, if I go like that, it's not going to really come away as easy as it would if you just left it there. So when you're handling the model, it might go away from the rims, but most of that will be stuck there for a lot longer than if you didn't do that step. So what I wanted to do on stream, I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to actually use the airbrush, but not to spray paint, but to spray paint off a paintbrush for the blood effect. So how I do like this splash effect, see how it's kind of splattered on the ground and kind of on her kind of randomly. I use an airbrush to do that, so I was going to try it on stream with this, see if it works. If it doesn't, well, you guys can be my guinea pigs. So I'm going to use a very shit brush. This has seen far better days. It's essentially just my blood brush at this point. It's all it's used for, is for spraying blood off it onto models. So let's get ready to do that. But Adam, hello, you're brand new to mini painting. Just got my first set from the introductory 40k with Infernus, Marines and Tyranids. Welcome to the hobby, my friend. You have chosen well. It is a very enjoyable hobby. Good luck on your painting journey. And what's my main army? Do I play the tabletop game? Finlay, I do not play the tabletop game. I've played about half a dozen games in my entire life. I do have friends, like Paper Doll Man, who would like me to finish an army and play. Maybe one day. But today, at the moment, is not that day. One day, I may hit the tabletop. But painting, for me, is the most enjoyable aspect of Warhammer. Good night, Potato. Thank you for joining, my friend. I appreciate you on the stream. And Hayaku, is that a Gormonga? It is not. It is a jackal from the World Eaters. So, we have our brush loaded with some blood from the Blood God. We have our airbrush right here. Can you hear that? It's ready to blow some of this paint out. Let's see if we can do this on the stream without causing an absolute mess of everything. I need to turn up the PSI. That's too weak. It's coming out too thick. That's better. We want more of a spray, less of a glob, like that. So you can sort of see how that's sprayed up on his legs, like he's chopped something. If you've gone a bit too ham and you want to get rid of it, I just wet my finger by licking it and just dabbing away like that, cleaning up a little bit of the blood so you can still see some of the skull there. I think that looks kind of cool. What I'll do as well is I'll tend to just paint on little bits where I want the blood to be in some sections like this, and then we'll go over again with using the airbrush to sort of flick more blood around those areas. So what I mean by that is I'll have to lay the model down like this, because I can't really hold the model when I do the effect, which is kind of limiting, kind of annoying. But we're refilling the paintbrush, as you can sort of see with this blood effect, wiping off a bit of the excess, and then getting our airbrush again, ready to spray as such. And I'm sorry if that airbrush compressor sound is really loud. It's part and parcel of using the airbrush. It won't be on for long. But it kind of, I don't know if you can sort of see it, it gets that sort of drizzle effect, which is really hard to get without an airbrush. It's like a kind of spray effect. It'd be really hard to do with a brush as well, I imagine, but it looks very cool if you can get it to work well. Hopefully that compressor's not blowing out of your ears. Sorry guys, tell me if it is, and we can turn it off. I might use a bit of blue tack actually, if I can find some to hold it on an angle. Look at this big brain move over here. As I say that, I fucking drop my model and break my Space Wolf that I've been working on. That is not fucking big brain move. Bloody hell. And his fucking head's gone somewhere. Jesus Christ. Yikes. That's what I get for saying I have a big brain. Alright. Continue. I'll find that head later. Shaking my damn head. That is a trombone if I've seen one. Jesus. Alright. Let's do it on this axe. See that? That is what we're after. That real spray effect. I kind of want to get it up on his body too, because he's just cut something. So it'd be splashing all over his chest. Like so. There we go. That is how I do my blood effect, guys. Obviously you can do it on the back too, which we should. Let's not neglect that. Let's do some of that. Hayaku wants to do AdMech, but they're expensive. Never painted an AdMech either. It's not one that actually kind of interest me all that much. I don't know why. It's just not for me. But I respect you regardless for your choices there. It's kind of Imperial Emperor adjacent, is it not? The Omnisire. Okay. We can come back and do more blood later. But yeah, that is kind of how we do our blood effects on our World Eaters. Like, it does look like a fair bit of blood. We might have overdone it, but I think it works with a World Eater. Like, it's okay if you get a bit too much blood. Very happy with him there. I'm very scared that I'm going to step on this guy's head. Let me have a quick 1 second. Let me make sure I'm not like going to roll over it with my chair or something. Ugh, you guys can come down on the floor with me and find it, or not. I've got no clue where it's gone. Alright, if I can't see it, I mean, it's not going to be in the firing line, is it? No, it is not. Okay. I can bring back our other jackal that we're working on in the meantime. Hollows. Doesn't that absolutely terrify you? I'd be scared of fudging it up. It does not. I've done it a few times, and I've definitely messed things up quite a bit previously, so I'm used to the mistakes. But yes, once upon a time it probably did, but not these days. You got a louder one at your job. Good. I'm assuming that's about the compressor. Good that it's not too loud for you guys. Rip Space Wolf indeed. Poor dude, seen better days. And he fell in the name of the Emperor, that's for sure. Adam, any advice for getting the right consistency for base coats? I'm afraid of globbing up details, but it always seemed to go too thin, adding too much water. I'll show you my palette at the moment, Adam, if it's going to focus. This gold right here, or this tin color, that's straight out of the pot, right? That's not been watered down at all. What I'm going to do is going to drop a water and show you the consistency that I would use. So look at that bead of water right there, right? You can use it obviously out of your paint water pot, but if I get a little bit like this, that is probably the consistency that I want. See how it reacts on the wet palette? It's kind of, it's not as thick, kind of shrinks back in on itself. That is a decent consistency, because when I go to paint, you can sort of see it goes very smooth on. And obviously depending on the paint itself, the coverage will vary, but that's probably the consistency that I'd go for. Nothing more over the top, because as you can sort of see, the more water you use, look how much more that separates and goes wacko. Like, that's no good. That's way too wet. Even that is a bit too wet because the paintbrush itself is too wet, but if I add more of the thick stuff in, it starts to behave a little bit better, and that's kind of more of the consistency that you want to paint your base coats with. Tips with Hobby Fiend, there you go. You're welcome. And you sacrifice gods will be pleased. They will indeed, Hollows. Very pleased. But I will not be pleased. That was bloody shameful of me. Tips for eyes. The tips that I can give you, mate, are just pray to the God Emperor and hope He relieves you, gives you salvation. You just got to practice, mate. There's no real tips that I can give there. It just takes time. You just need a very sharp tip brush and a lot of patience and lots of practice models. That's the best tip I can do for eyes. I'm not even great at them. They just take a long time to master. All right, while I've got this guy here, let's add on the base stuff that we did previously. So if you were watching before, apologies, we're going to do a repeat. But if you are just joining us, you're in luck. You get to see how I do these quick and easy base sort of schemes. So to begin, burnt umber, Vallejo pigment, unscrew cap, brush that you don't care about, dip, grab, smush. Those are the steps, like so. Look at that. Bang, Bob's your uncle. Bit more. Get it on there. To be honest, if you want to as well, you could probably wear a mask using this because the dust is very fine and it gets everywhere. Like you can sort of see it coming off here. It's like, looks like smoke and I can feel it going into my nostrils. So you could probably wear a mask, but we're not doing too much of it, so it's not too bad. If you are sensitive or have hay fever-like allergies, I would suggest maybe the mask as an option. Anyway, the other two colors that we're going to add on top of that are light sienna. Oh, that's not focusing. Here we go. Light sienna, light yellow ochre. Okay, good. Now, light sienna, same thing. Dip, a little bit less this time, and we're not smushing, all right? We're just kind of dabbing, like so, all right? And we're not really aiming to get it on her legs, more so just the base for now. Okay, like that, leave it, don't smush it in yet. Open up your next one. Learn how to put on child safety caps and take them off. That is critical. There you go, that's how you do it. Light sienna, all right. Again, little bit, not as much as we did with our first one. And very similar, just dab sparingly because the light sienna in particular is quite overwhelming. We don't want too much of it. We want it to add a bit of variety to our base. So that is probably enough for now. Re-screw your stuff because if you knock it over, it ain't gonna spill. And believe me, I've had a lot of spillage in my time. It's not fun cleaning it up. So wipe off the excess on your brush. Now it's time to smush, but we're gonna do it nice and soft. So we're gonna break up those kind of bigger pigment particles and kind of mix them together like so. You can sort of see they're starting to mix, so then you get a nice sort of pattern of light browns, dark browns, and you still have some of that gray showing through like the earth to the base, which is exactly what we want. You can even blow a little bit of it away if you want, but that's enough variety to make a very quick and easy earth looking base, dusty desert, whatever you want to call it. And then, as I said in my previously, odorless thinner is going to be your friend here, and it's going to help lock in all those pigments. So where's my little thingo, my Duvalaki, my pipette, pipette, that thing. Anyway, use the odorless thinner just a little bit. And then 1 drop, like so. Another, just enough to sort of get the base going, and you can see it kind of runs across the rest of the base. Someone else said it was very satisfying. It is satisfying to watch. It kind of just finds out all the nooks and crannies. And if you want to, you can just touch it again and it'll help speed it up. But that, my friends, is how you do a very quick little base. Now, I won't stay that color. It looks wet, and obviously it is wet with odorless spirits at the moment. But it's gone quite dark. It will dry very similar to what it looked like with the pigments before. But it'll help fix them in place for when you're gaming and handling your model so you don't lose them. All your hard work over time from just rubbing away from wear and tear. So yes, it looks like mud at the moment. But when you're done, it will come back and look something like this. It dries just like the dust that we had before. Just like that. That's what it will look like once it's dried. But for the moment, you get a little mud. So we pop her to the side and let her dry. It does look cool wet, Jake, doesn't it? You could probably even use different stuff if you wanted to use mud color. Like I kind of did a little bit of this random. I did colored green mud on my orc a while back. It doesn't look as good now because it's all dusty. But have fun with it as well, you know. It's good fun. Sorry, there's a couple of comments here that I have missed, so I will read them. I'm just going to pull up my other dude while I do that, so people can see something rather than me just talking and you're not looking at anything. This guy as well, same technique with the base. That's what I did there, just different colors. Blood Angels next from Uncle Drew. Looks amazing, mate. I think we might have to getting close to my commissions being all done, and I can work on some of my own stuff. That'll be fun. You're welcome, Adam. I'm glad I could help. And tips for removing mistakes. I do the exact same. Wipe it away. Try and get onto it as quick as you can, as fast as you can, with a wet paintbrush or a wet finger, and just wipe it away. It's kind of the best way to do it. But if it's dried, you're just going to have to paint over it. There's no two ways about it, unfortunately. The gravity is stronger today, not your fault. Hollows, I think that's in reference to my Butterfingers earlier, I imagine. I appreciate it. I won't blame myself too much. Oh, in honor of all the new Space Marine stuff that's come out recently, maybe I have to purchase some and paint them up like this guy. Maybe. Ever paint soot stains onto models that use flamers or fire? I did not soot stains, but I did like a burnt muzzle effect. Kind of quick and easy one. You could spend a lot more time on it if you really wanted to. But I kind of did a bit of a muzzle burn on this guy here. So I was working on a Dark Angel commission. As you can sort of see here, kind of muzzle burn effect. But it's only like my premium tabletop standard, so I'm not trying too hard on this one. Yeah. That was good fun to paint. And I did do this apothecary the other day. I was painting offline for the same commission. He wanted box art style. He's very bright. Doesn't look this bright in person. The camera, I think, can't really pick up white that well. But kind of imitating the box art is kind of what we're doing here. Nothing, I wasn't painting to display, but just the style is box art style. Hayaku is thinking green robes with purple glowing bits instead of red and blue. Well, green and purple are a good color combo, so definitely. I like the thought process there, my friend. CPTT? Captain T. I'm so dumb. I'm pretty sure that's Captain T. Love the figure. I'm taking a break from my figures. Thanks, mate. Hopefully you come back to them. Hopefully it's not a too long a break. Jake, how do you make a base if you want it to look wet? The products that I would use, I don't know if I've got them handy, but you can literally buy like wet mud effects. Yeah, here we go. Something like this. I'll show you. So, literally splatter ground wet. What's this? Wet splatter effects wet ground. It dries glossy, so it looks like wet mud. So if you look at it here, it looks gross, but you mix it all together, and it will be like your texture paste type thing. Ooh, it's spilled a little bit. Almost like texture paste from Games Workshop. And you just slap it on there. And then the way I did the puddles on my orc is I just used this water gel effect, and I just added some like wash or wet colored paint to make it sort of green, because I'm pretty sure this is very clear. So something like that is how you would do like a wet base effect. They do like, I know there's one that's called mud that you can just use for if you want mud and you don't have to worry about coloring it. That's definitely one way of doing it. Hellbrutes are hella fun to paint. Last Phoenix Guard. Dude, I've got one sitting here. I'm pretty sure this is a Hellbrute. It's part of a commission. It's got a bit of dust because I haven't painted it in a while. I was just testing around with the skin. This guy will be part of a Black Legion paint job. We need to get onto him soon. He's just been collecting a lot of dust because I was not entirely happy with where I was going with the skin, so I kind of stopped it for a while. But I agree, they are pretty cool. Where's my models gone? Yes. Hollows, yes, please, I'd watch that. I don't know what you're talking about there. I must have said something. Apologies. I don't remember what I said. Wow, I hear white is hard and that apothecary looks lovely. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. White is kind of tricky, but there's different types of white. Like the apothecary one was quite bright. This one here is a bit more muted, as you can sort of see. He's missing his backpack, so don't worry about that. But yeah, you can have fun with white. You can do sort of cool tones, warm tones, lots of different stuff with your whites. But yes, I'm just going to read through a couple more, and then I think we're going to have to call it, guys. I've got a early start tomorrow with work, but I do appreciate you all sticking around. So I'm going to read these last few questions, and then do a recap and say bye-bye. What are the rules for customizing your 40k minis? For example, I was thinking of putting my initials AH on the pauldrons, but also Alvius Hostess for Enemy of the Hive. Nice. I don't think there's any rules, Adam. They're your minis. You can do whatever you want. Use the rule of cool. That is the number one thing. Whatever you think is cool, by all means do it. And if people say otherwise, tell them to fuck off. They're your models. Paint them how you like. That's all I can say. If it's tournament, I think there's some different stuff when it comes to tournament play. I don't play tournaments, so I don't know. But in general, just paint however you want to. Jake, are you ever going to paint a Space Marine in black with neon highlights like the end scenes of the secret level Warhammer 40k episode? Ooh, maybe. I've seen someone who's done that already. His whole thing is neon looking space marines. They look like out of Tron. I'm trying to think of the name of the channel. He does it all the time. If you search it on YouTube, I'm pretty sure you'd find it. He does like black with like pink and kind of like synthwave, like what we're kind of listening to at the moment, like synthwave colors. You know, there's pink and oranges and purples. They look very cool. But yes. I think tournaments just want them painted. Yeah, there's some rules about 3 colors or something with tournaments, or there used to be anyway, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, that's it. Came back, finally awake, dead man. That's the one. Heresy for Heretics does a lot of neon. I'm pretty sure that's the dude. He's an Aussie as well, I think, and does some cool stuff there. So check him out if you want to see that. Maybe I might do. Yeah, maybe I might do that. I think I know the channel. Yeah, that's the one. Holos, please be my senpai about how to paint, please. Oh, well, look, keep showing up. I'll try and teach you where I can. Yeah, happy to help and pass on what I know. But yes, appreciate all you guys. Hope to catch your future streams. Been super chatting. Have fun. Having fun. Just got into the hobby. Yeah. So good having you here, Adam. Appreciate it. I should blatantly copy his synthwave style. Dude, I think he's nailed it. I think he's absolutely nailed the synthwave style. I don't even know if mine would look any good. This is the closest I've got to synthwave because it's purple. You know, crazy, I know. But maybe I might have to step out of my comfort zone and give it a shot, you know. Bit of plagiarism. It's kind of the way of chaos, you know. They just take loyalist stuff and make it their own. Maybe I should do the same with other people's content. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out for this evening. I am going to wrap it up here. So just to sort of recap real quickly. So we got to painting up this guy, finishing off his pants, doing the base, the skulls there. Showed you how I did the blood splatter effect. So that was awesome. And as you can sort of see here, you see how it's starting to dry and the dust effect is coming through. So no more wet mud. You're already starting to see the effect come into play. But yes, and this girl too, we added in some rattling gun washes, touched up her cloth and clothes, and did her base as well. So yeah, got a little bit of headroom here and headway in this little stream. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. If you would like to, feel free to jump in the Discord. We hang out there, share photos, all sorts of stuff. Have a good little time in there. I hope to see you there. If not, hope to see you in my next stream. All right, take care and peace, my friends. Adios. See you next time. Bye-bye.